Have you ever wondered how our brains work? They're like supercomputers made of billions of tiny cells called neurons. These neurons talk to each other, sending signals back and forth. This is how we think, learn, and do all the amazing things we do. Neural networks, get this, are inspired by our brains. Scientists wanted to create computer programs that learn and solve problems just like we do. And guess what? They did. Neural networks are like a team of tiny computer programs working together. They help us do all sorts of cool things, like recognize faces in photos and even understand what we say. Isn't that amazing? Let's learn more about these incredible networks. Imagine a big party with lots of people. Each person is like a tiny computer program called a node. Nodes take in information, process it, and then pass it along. Now imagine these partygoers are arranged in lines like a big conga line. Each line is called a layer. Information flows from one layer to the next, with each node doing its part. The first layer is like the doorman of the party. It takes in the initial information, like a picture of a cat or the sound of someone's voice. The middle layers are like the party animals who process the information. They figure out what's important and what's not. Finally, the last layer is like the guest of honor who gives us the final answer. It tells us if the picture is a cat or what the person said. So, nodes are like partygoers, layers are like conga lines, and together they make up a neural network party. Neural networks are like super detectives when it comes to recognizing patterns. They can learn to identify all sorts of things, just like we can. For example, they can recognize handwriting. You know those squiggly lines we call letters? Neural networks can learn to read them. They can even tell the difference between your handwriting and mine. They can also understand spoken words. When you talk to your smartphone, a neural network is listening. It figures out what you're saying and can even translate it into different languages. Pretty cool, right? But that's not all. Neural networks can also recognize faces, objects, and even emotions. They're like having a superpowered brain helping us out. Let's follow the journey of information through a neural network. Remember our party analogy? First, the information enters the network through the doorman or input layer. This could be anything, a picture, a sound, or even text. Next, the information travels through the party animals or hidden layers. Each node in these layers looks at the information and decides what's important. As the information moves through the layers, it gets processed and refined. It's kind of like a game of telephone, but instead of getting jumbled, the information becomes clearer. Finally, the information reaches the guest of honor or output layer. This layer gives us the final answer based on what the network has learned. And that's how a neural network processes information. From input to output, it's like a journey of discovery. Now here's the really cool part. Neural networks can learn and get better over time. It's like how we practice riding a bike or playing an instrument. The more we practice, the better we get. So how do neural networks learn? Well, they learn by adjusting the connections between nodes. Remember our partygoers? Imagine them passing notes to each other. At first, they might pass notes randomly, but as they get feedback, they learn which connections are important and which ones aren't. If a connection leads to a correct answer, it gets stronger. If it leads to a wrong answer, it gets weaker. This is how neural networks fine-tune their performance and become experts in their tasks. It's like a brain teaser for the network, and the more it practices, the better it gets at solving it. Neural networks might sound like something out of a science fiction movie, but they're actually all around us. They're quietly working behind the scenes, making our lives easier and more efficient. Remember those cool features on your smartphone like voice assistants and facial recognition? Yep, those are powered by neural networks. They're also used in self-driving cars, medical diagnosis, and even personalized recommendations on your favorite streaming platforms. Neural networks are like silent helpers, making our technology smarter and more intuitive. They're changing the world in ways we're only beginning to understand. So next time you use your phone or see a cool new technological advancement, remember the amazing power of neural networks. They're changing the world, one connection at a time.